Today you join me in a Volkswagen Beetle, not just any Beetle, the 1600 SP, which is quite a special one. I've never driven a bug before, and I'm so excited I could wet myself. So you might know the Volkswagen Beetle, you might know that it came in a 1600, but I bet you didn't know that it came in this trim, which is called the SP. It's not clear what the SP designation stands for, but in 1976 they released it, and they were pretty vague about what the SP actually stands for. So for the sake of this video, I'm just going to call it the Sport Pack. They also only made about 3,000 of these, which I think is quite special if you're a collector of Volkswagens or air-cooled engines or air-cooled motor vehicles. So the SP was made in 1976, as I've said, and this was sort of Volkswagen South Africa's attempt in giving the Volkswagen Beetle its last hurrah, seeing as the Golf was coming into the picture and it was sort of becoming Volkswagen's big seller. They continued to produce the Beetle long after 76, but the Golf ultimately came in and became the new kid on the block, and Volkswagen South Africa needed a way to keep people excited about the Beetle, and this was their answer. So how did they make the 1600 SP special? First of all, it got a bit of a power bump, it got twin Solex carburetors, it got a new distributor, and it got a free flow exhaust, allowing the engine to make give or take 60 horsepower, which isn't a lot, but if you consider the fact that the bug only weighs 850 kilograms, I think it's enough, and it's quite a punchy little thing as well. So another way that they made it special was by giving it a set of beefier tires on some 14-inch wheels. So basically it's got a bit more of an aggressive stance and a slight aero upgrade in the form of a fiberglass lip on the front. Gives a little bit of a chin, but I think it helps smooth airflow over the car as well. When they made these Beetles, they brought them out in special colors as well. You got Sunburst Yellow, which is the one I'm driving now. You got Arctic White, Silver Cloud, and then something called Calypso Coral Red, which is way too much of a name for me, so I prefer to call it Red. So other clues that this is different from a normal Beetle and a little bit more special is the interior. So you'll find a much sportier steering wheel. It's covered in leather. It's got a nice tri-spoke design. You'll find a dashboard, which you didn't always find in Beetles before this one. And then you find tartan seats, which I think is quite cool. It's color matched to the rest of the car. And I'm sure you'll remember that the Mach 1 Golf also came with these seats, especially the GTI, and it kind of makes you think, was this meant to be like a Beetle GTI? Maybe. And another way that you'll know that you're driving an SP is you'll find a sort of not a pinstripe, but you'll find almost like a racing stripe going across the car and down on each side. I feel like some people might put that on their car and pretend it's an SP, but that's one way of knowing from a distance that you're looking at an SP. Along with that is black trim on the bumpers and black eyelids around the lights, which give you quite a nice visual cue that it's something special. And then on the back you'll see the SP 1600 badge. Okay, let's talk about how the 1600 SP drives. So as we cross the speed bump over here, I'm going to give it a quick squirt. Let's see how she does. Let's see if all that 60 horsepower is manageable. Okay. And just kidding. Okay, it's not that fast, but you have to consider the fact that the car is older than I am, and I actually tend to think that it's quite a lot of fun when you have to work for your speed, especially in a car like this that has no driver aids, so no ABS. Basically all 4 brakes are drums and no power steering, so I really like the way the car feels. I like the way it sounds, and actually once you get going, it gets going. I think you can easily keep up with traffic in this car, and I think if you're going for a Sunday drive just out of town, I think you'll have a very good time. It's very comfortable, surprisingly. and the ergonomics aren't bad. I thought I was going to be completely cramped in here. Other than the lack of a bit of leg room, it's very comfortable. I like it. One thing I will say, it's quite terrifying the first time you drive it and you hop on the brakes, because you sort of have to get used to the fact that there really aren't any. So once you get used to it, it's not that bad. You learn how to maintain a nice following distance. You know that you need to brake a little earlier, but that's one thing I will note. If you do end up in one of these, definitely be mindful of that. So it's got a 4-speed manual box with a dog leg reverse, and I think 4 gears is enough. The ratios don't seem that bad. You can really hang on to it here if you want to. Let's listen to the sound a little bit. So I'm actually very honored to be able to drive one of these today. I think South Africa is a place where people really like their automotive heritage, and they like these cars and keeping them alive and keeping them beautiful. And we should really be grateful for that, because were it not for people like Hanno, by the way, he's the guy that I'm borrowing this car from to do the review. If it wasn't for guys like Hanno, we wouldn't be able to enjoy these cars, whether it's from the inside or the outside, or just walking past one in a parking lot and being able to admire it. I'm really stoked that people like him still exist, and it's been an absolute privilege to drive this car. So if you've enjoyed this video, please remember to like, please remember to subscribe, and remember to be safe on the roads. See you next time.